Imagine arriving at school. You are now told to walk to the gym, separated from your friends as a result of your religion. 20 other people are with you in the gym, except it is no longer a gym. It is now barricaded with high walls and barbed wire. This is your home for the next 3 years.
In 1939, Hitler needed a way to separate the races that he wanted to kill and the races that he wanted to spare. He required Jews in Europe to wear Stars of David on their clothes so they could be easily identifiable. Soon, Hitler ordered that Polish Jews become slaves of Germany. After invading Poland, Hitler ordered 2 million Jews in Poland to be sent to enclosed secluded districts known as ghettos.
During the late 1930s, the Nazi government conceived options for elimination of the Jews. In 1940, Italy intercepted a proposal by the Germans to transport all Jews in Europe to Madagascar. This was known as the Madagascar Plan. The plan called for 1 million Jews to be sent to the island per year over a 4-year period, funded by confiscated property previously owned by Jews. This was the first public notice that showed the Germans' clear and deliberate attempt to remove the Jews from their homeland. By 1941, the American Jewish Committee issued a report directed to the Nazis explaining that such a plan would not provide the Jews with survivable conditions. Soon, however, the plan was revoked because Hitler had a better idea, the final solution, a plan to exterminate all Jews in Europe.
By 1944, there were more than 1,000 ghettos established to keep Jews in remote locations. Each ghetto was like a city, except most residents were trapped within. There were 3 different types of ghettos that the Nazis used: open, closed, and destructive. Open ghettos allowed some residents to travel outside the ghetto for work. However, closed ghettos, the most common, used walls with barbed wire to prevent escape. Finally, destructive ghettos were closed with the intention of transferring all residents to concentration camps for execution.
Conditions inside the ghettos were beyond poor. Plumbing usually did not work, so waste and other garbage was dumped onto the street. With no sanitation, disease was common. Furthermore, food was scarce. Nazis deliberately starved the residents. Some people had enough money to purchase food that was smuggled in, but the penalty for assisting a Jew in any way was death, so it was hard to find such food.
קיבלנו כיכר לחם ל8 ימים, אבל אנשים אכלו את הלחם ביומיים, ומה אחר כך? הסתובבתי עם מקל, ובקצה היה מסמר, איזה מחוץ לגטו הגיעה מכונה עם תפוחי אדמה, אז רצתי למכונה עם המקל, תפסתי את התפוחי אדמה, תפסתי עוד תפוח אדמה, באתי הביתה, היה צהריים, אני יכול ככה.
The Warsaw Ghetto in Poland squeezed 400,000 people in an area of only 2.5 square miles. 19-foot walls barricaded residents. As the population decreased due to famine and disease, the walls got pushed in, making the area only 1.5 square miles. In 1943, the Jews formed a militia and fought back. After 1 month of fighting, the entire ghetto was burned down. However, more Nazi troops were sent in, and the remaining residents were all sent to concentration camps.
In 1938, the British started rescue attempts for children under the age of 17 living in Europe. This program was known as Kindertransport. It required the parents of children to pay for the child's expenses. The transported people would arrive by boat in England, but parents could not accompany the children. After transporting, few children saw their parents again because they were killed in the Holocaust. After the war, many became citizens of England, but others immigrated to Israel, the U.S., Canada, or Australia.
I was a child that used the Kindertransport program. At the time, I was living in Germany, and when I was about 10 years old, my parents learned of the Kindertransport, and it was simply luck that I was accepted to escape to England. My parents took me to the train station where we said our final goodbyes, and the train traveled to England through the Netherlands. And I later found out that my grandparents, aunts, cousins had all died in Germany in concentration camps.
Obstürmt oder steigt auf die Sonne.
The segregation of Jews into ghettos was an integral part of Hitler's plan to eradicate the Jewish people. Hitler required all Jews to wear the Star of David on their shirts, allowing him to easily push the Jews into ghettos. Then it became easy to round up the Jews into train cars headed for work or death camps. These ideas proved to be a successful tactic in his final solution. Without it, he would not have been able to kill 6 million Jews over the span of only 7 years.
Now that you've learned a bit about the segregation of Jews into ghettos, let's take a look at genocide today. Since 2011, the Syrian people have been protesting against the government wanting a democracy. To deal with the protests, Syrian governing officials have taken the protesters as prisoners, like Nazis did to the Jews during the Holocaust, and then they have taken those prisoners and put them into detention centers, like the Nazis put the Jews into ghettos and concentration camps during the Holocaust. Well, what can we take from this? After the Holocaust, the world came together as one and said never again, meaning never again will we just stand by and observe genocide. As one, everyone in the world has to try to get together to abolish genocide and the violation of human rights for the greater good of everyone else on planet Earth. Every person on this planet is unique, but everyone on this planet should have the access to basic human rights to live life in peace. So really ask yourself, are you doing everything you can to support world peace and every person's right to live a just life?
Obstürmt oder steigt auf die Sonne und sagt, der Tag wird weiß oder eiskalt die Nacht. Bestaunt sind die